This is going to be an important one, somewhat a guide for all the wizards out there trying to increase their damage, especially when it comes to PvE and PvP. I am seeing a lot of people out there not understanding how this status effect work in Diablo Immortal for the wizard, and I'm gonna try and explain it in this video, and hopefully it will help some of you guys out there increase your damage output either for PvP or PvE. The status effects that we will be talking about, it is gonna be the shock. If you don't know what the shock is, I will be explaining that in a bit, but right now let's go check out a couple of ways that you can apply shock to the enemy as a wizard. The first one, it is going to be on the helm for the slow time right there. Slow time now surround you with a static field that follow you, damaging and applying shock to all nearby enemies. Slow time damage increase by 18%. There is another way that you can apply shock, and that is on the electrocute on the main weapon, and there we go. This is our second source that the wizard has to apply shock to the enemy. Electrocute critical hit also shock enemies, causing them to take additional damage every second for 3 seconds, and blah blah blah. Now you guys must be wondering, what does this shock does for us? That is going to be a really good question, and let me quickly explain that. So if I were to go switch to this build here just to showcase what the shock does, you guys, in a sec at the training dummy. So like I said, our first source is going to be the slow time helm here. Slow time now surround you with a static field that follow you, damaging and applying shock to all nearby enemy, and this is how it looks. If we use the slow time, this is a field that is surrounding us, and if I hit this right there, the enemy is basically shocked. Now if I were to go and use a lightning skill versus a shocked enemy, this is a shocked enemy at the moment. Our lightning based abilities will deal 50% more damage to the enemy, and this is what makes this so powerful for a wizard. A lot of right now the meta abilities that we have as of me recording this video right now in 2025 July are lightning based. For example, this lightning nova that I am using, it is lightning based. If I were to hit this training dummy without shocking the training dummy, it will do 50% less damage, but if I apply a shock to the enemy, we will be doing 50% more damage to the training dummy. But like we saw, we need to get closer to training dummy with either this a field to apply shock, or we need this main hand, at least the second source, the main hand here, to apply shock to the enemy with our critical. We hit the enemy with the critical, and it applies shock, and then we can use the lightning nova, and we do 50% more damage to the enemies who are under the effect of the shock. And you can say this has been an issue for a wizard for a long time, not giving them the ability to use or apply shock from a distance, but that has been somewhat fixed, and that is one of the reasons some of the people out there right now, wizard, are not explaining this to other players and keeping this to themselves. But let me show you guys something that you can do right now using the new set piece. Let me quickly go in here, right there, and if we go take a look at this, the Skybreaker Bolt, dealing damage, unleash a lightning blast at the enemy location that shock all nearby enemies and deal additional damage per second. Yes, it does increase damage per second and apply a shock for us, and we can use something like this. Let me quickly go here, and we will go use a lightning nova. Now unleash a wild arc that jump rapidly between random target, leaving behind a spark of electricity that continue to deal damage when it hits shocked enemy. and this makes it freaking powerful with the new set. Now you have the ability to apply a shock from a distance. So if I were to use a lightning nova right here and hit, let's say hit this dummy here, we applied a shock, and now this lightning nova is also doing electrocute damage to this training dummy. And there is another thing you can do with this. It works really well with the damage over time build as well, because it actually leave behind a electrocute electricity a dot on the enemy, the set piece. When you hit the training dummy, it will keep on hitting and hitting and feeding the rest of the flagellant. And if you are using other gems like the seeping bile and the blood flow that as the bleeding, viper bite that as the poison, and on the top that you can apply a shock from a sky breaker, and then if it hit the enemy for next 3 seconds, they will take 3 dots from you, feeding the grace of the flagellant, dealing additional damage. And you guys can see for yourself, I just hit this once and it just keep on triggering the other stuff from my build. Super strong for a wizard right now. I will highly recommend everyone using it, at least for PvP and even in PvE with the button spamming build. This is the must have set, and opening up so many new options for a wizard. So if you have not tried it yet, I will highly recommend using 2-piece Skybreaker, and especially use it with your lightning based ability. You will be dealing 50% more damage to the enemies, either in PvP or PvE, and hopefully this is going to be helpful for some of you guys out there trying to understand how the shock effect work. And before I log off, there is another thing here. This is the build for the PvP I use. I already have a video guide for it. You can go check it out. And if I hit, let's say from a distance, you can see I'm applying so many dots, and it is also applying a shock to the enemy, and it does work really good for me. Applying damage over time means if I hit the same target 5 times, the grace of the flagellant set is going to deal additional damage, and that is where a lot of damage comes from me in PvP. Just use this, apply a bunch of damage over time from the gems, and on the top of that, I also shock enemy, and that does the damage to the main enemy and the enemies surrounding the main player as well on the blast. And sometimes it just keep on triggering and triggering more than once on the same target, since I have quite a lot of potency, and potency increase my harmful effects for the gems, and since they don't go away, the same target keep on triggering the lightning from the Skybreaker. Pretty good set. I will highly recommend everyone trying it out. I'm seeing so many wizards out there not trying it out, or maybe you can say sleeping on it. So go try it out. It is freaking fantastic, especially for PvP. I will recommend everyone trying it out. It is definitely gonna help you in PvP if you are using a proper build. Now I'm signing off. See you on the next one. You guys have an excellent day and take it later, guys.